Hi, my name's Nicole and I'm a behaviour modification student at the University of New England. Today I'm going to talk about some behaviour modification principles and procedures that you can use to reduce or eliminate almost any behaviour, from nail biting to scratching yourself to eating too much junk food. The principles and procedures I'll be talking about are awareness training, competing response training, motivation and social support. But first of all, let's start with defining a habit. So a habit can be defined as any behaviour that has become so ingrained it feels almost automatic. Half the time you may not even realise that you're doing it. So to break your habit, the first thing that you're going to need to do is identify exactly what behaviour constitutes the habit that you're trying to break. So if your habit was sleeping in, you would try and define exactly what sleeping in means to you, such as lying down in bed past 8 a.m. Make sure you write down this definition, as it's going to make sure you don't forget it, and it's going to help you with your next step, which is awareness training. So now that you have your definition and you know what to look for, the next step is to become aware of the habit and record a baseline to let you know how often you engage in the habitual behaviour. To do this, either carry around a pen and piece of paper or use the notes section in your phone and write down every time you do the behaviour you're trying to change, making sure you note all of the salient facts as well, including things like what time it was, how you were feeling, what happened immediately before and immediately after the behaviour, and anything else that you think might be relevant. There's no such thing as too much information. As habits can often occur unconsciously, it can be helpful to get someone who sees you often to record when you engage in your habitual behaviour. You, or they, want to be recording the information down for about a week. This is going to give you a better representation than just one day, and will allow you to note any patterns in your habit. For example, whether you only seem to do it when you're stressed or bored, or when you're around certain people, or only at certain times of the day. This forms part of your awareness training, and is going to be important information to help you break your particular habit. So now that you've learned as much as you can about your habit, I like to write down all of the reasons why you want to break this habit, and how your life will have improved once you've learned to break it. Also, set yourself a goal to reach. Again, you want to be as specific as possible, otherwise how will you know when you've reached it? If your habit is a behaviour you want to cut down, like smoking, write down how many cigarettes a day you want to cut down to. This is where your baseline will come in handy, as you'll already know how many cigarettes you smoke currently. If it's something you want to eliminate, like nail biting, write down a goal for yourself, like not biting your nails for a whole week. Now that you've got your piece of paper with your behaviour, your goal, and why you want to change, don't just put it in a drawer and forget about it. Keep it somewhere where you'll see it every day, like your fridge or on your bedside table. Like I said, habits can feel automatic, so the more you remind yourself of what you're trying to do, the easier it's going to be to break the habit. So right, now that we've done all of our preliminary investigations into our habits, it's time to look at what we can do to change them. One behaviour modification technique that has been found to be really helpful in breaking habitual behaviour is called competing response training. This is all about becoming aware of when a habit is occurring or about to occur, and then instead of performing that behaviour, performing a competing response, which is basically doing any other behaviour which will not allow you to perform the habitual behaviour. The key is to make sure the competing behaviour is easy to perform and prevents you from doing the habitual behaviour. For example, if you want to reduce the use of filler words like or like, try pausing for a second or take a breath instead. If you're bored and bite your nails because you need something to do with your hands, try finding something else that requires the use of your hands and that you enjoy and will be more beneficial. For example, taking up knitting or drawing. Both of these tasks will alleviate your boredom and keep your hands occupied, and as a bonus, you'll get to keep something beautiful you've made. You need to make sure you consistently reinforce your desired behaviour and not reinforce the habit. This is one of those things that's definitely easier said than done, but don't give up. Engage in the competing behaviour as often as you can, and if you find yourself performing your habit unconsciously, stop as soon as you realise and make a conscious effort to engage in the competing behaviour instead. It will be hard at first, For every time you do the alternative behaviour instead of the habitual behaviour, you're strengthening the neural connections in your brain, linking the new behaviour to the consequence and weakening the pathway between the habit and the consequence. Another thing that will help you in breaking your habit is motivating yourself with rewards. Set yourself little goals in your journey and reward yourself for when you achieve them. It might be cutting down your behaviour by a certain amount each day, or going the whole day without doing the behaviour. Just make sure that it's something that will challenge you without being impossible to do. Rewards could be anything except the behaviour you're trying to break. So if you're trying to change your behaviour to wake up earlier, don't reward yourself with sleeping in. Little treats like buying yourself a new nail polish if you bite your nails, or going to see a movie or going out to dinner are great at rewarding yourself for all your hard work in trying to break your habit. Another thing that will really help is social support. Tell people close to you what you're trying to do, but only if you feel comfortable doing so. That way, they can remind you every time they see you engaging in your old habits and cheer you on every time you perform your new behaviour instead. Finally, one thing that's really important to remember when trying to break your habit is that this habit took a lifetime to create, and it's highly unlikely that it's going to disappear overnight. The neural pathways in your brains that have led to your behaviour to become a habit will take time to change. On some days it'll be easier, and on some days it'll feel like you're getting nowhere. The important thing to do is to keep reminding yourself that this is something you want to change. And if you do fall off the bandwagon, be compassionate with yourself and tell yourself you'll do better next time, like you're talking to a friend. By being aware of your habit, finding a competing response, and using social support and motivation, together with time, determination, and self-compassion, I'm confident that the behaviour modification principles I outlined in this video will help you reduce and/or eliminate whatever behaviour you're trying to break. Good luck!